Right, so yesterday was D23. I didn't watch the full thing. I didn't watch the full live show because it was happening whilst I was asleep. However, I have caught up on all of the trailers and stuff for things that I personally am looking forward to. There was some so something I haven't really talked about on the channel a lot, but something I have recently got into is collecting Disney Lorcana cards. There was some interesting things revealed on that side of things. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I'm not an expert in that field yet, and I don't know how many people that watch my content are excited about that. If you would want to see pack openings for either that or the Marvel Magic cards, that can be done, but let me know in the comments if that's something that you want to see. However, we're going to move straight into the stuff that I am excited for. We're going to start off with some gaming stuff because some really exciting things were revealed in the space of Kingdom Hearts 4. Kingdom Hearts 4 got a world reveal, and this is kind of actual confirmation that we are still doing Disney worlds in Kingdom Hearts. I didn't really think we weren't, but there has been some discussion online of, are they even doing Disney worlds in this? And I think we've got pseudo confirmation that they're doing Star Wars, which I don't have a huge opinion on yet, but I don't know. I think the Star Wars hype ship has sailed. Getting Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts is always going to be exciting, and it's exciting for a fella like me. I'm also interested to see if they're going to do Marvel as well, especially since going into 2027, especially late 2027, I think it's going to be right around the time of Secret Wars coming out. And I think Marvel hype, I know people are talking about superhero fatigue and stuff, but I think Marvel hype especially after Spider-Man Brand New Day, back at an all-time high. So I think this might be the time to, if we are going full hog into the Disney IPs that are not foremost Disney IPs, or the things that the mouse has bought over the last few years, I think we can probably cross the bridge. If we're looking at Star Wars, the next logical step, I think, is looking at Marvel. And if we're going to be looking at Marvel, the ideal time to have done it would have been, 2018, probably with Kingdom Hearts 3. But technically there was Marvel stuff in there with Big Hero 6. But if we're going to do Marvel proper, like MCU stuff in Kingdom Hearts, I think now is as good a time as possible to do it, with the lead up to Secret Wars happening. There is going to be an awkward cut. I can't really control that, but there is going to be an awkward cut. But yeah, I think if we're going to do Marvel in Kingdom Hearts, I think now is as good a time as any to do it, especially with the lead up to Secret Wars and Marvel hype kind of being, and it feels like now it's cool to have hype for Marvel stuff again. There was a couple of years where it was kind of cool to hate on every Marvel thing that was coming out, even though it felt like, although some projects were really, really bad, almost every other project was of quality, and it felt like the actual overall quality of films didn't really go down. There's always been the odd sour note, especially when you look at Phase 1. There has been, nothing has been as bad or worse than Ant-Man 3, but there were some stinkers in Phase 1, and even in Phase 2, there were some movies that didn't quite land. But moving on from that, we've got some more footage. We got a new kind of gameplay, not really gameplay. It's not gameplay at all. We got a new cinematic trailer for Wolverine, kind of showing off who the villains are going to be, basically just showing off. It's just a last minute thing for them to be like, the game's coming out next month. I hope you're hyped for it. I would have really liked to see a demo, but I don't. I think it's a bit too late now to do a demo for the game. But I'm excited for this, and I think it's going to be, unless it comes out and it's catastrophically bad, and there are some bad things out about the game, but nothing I've seen so far has led me to believe that this is going to be anything but my game of the year. There is nothing that I've seen that takes away my confidence of this is going to be really, really fun and just a really good Wolverine game. It's coming from the same people who did the Spider-Man games. As much as, I have my own issues with Spider-Man 2, I don't think anything of the track record of Insomniac is pointing at Wolverine is going to be a stinker. I think it's all pointing at this Wolverine game is going to be really, really good. I have a lot of hype for this game. I've been hyped for it since it was revealed. The fact that I'm going to get my hands on it and play it next month is really exciting, and I can't wait to stream it. I'm going to be streaming this on Twitch. If you aren't already following my Twitch, go do it now, especially because this month we are raising money for Mind, trying to get as much money raised and as much... what's the frickin' word? Exposure. Awareness. We're trying to raise awareness and funds for Mind over on Twitch this month. So if you could head on over there, drop a follow, watch the streams. If you're in the position to drop a donation, it's not something that I'm going to beg for, but it is something that I'm going to highly suggest. But anyways, that's Wolverine. My most anticipated game for the year, GTA Who. I will not be playing the new GTA. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not a GTA head. Those aren't my kind of games. Way more looking forward to Wolverine than anything else this year. And probably Control Resonant. That game for some reason has just caught a bit of my brain that really wants some of that. And also, I'm going to be hopping on Dusk Fade tonight. Played the demo for that, really enjoyed it. So really looking forward to playing it tonight. Back to the D23 stuff. We got a trailer for Vision Quest. This was a show that I had absolutely no real kind of interest in. I was going to watch it because I watch all of the Marvel stuff. But I didn't really have much. I didn't know what it was going to be. I thought, right, you're going to do the Tom King run. And the last adaptation of a Tom King comic that I watched was a bit of a letdown for me. And, there's a lot of controversy about what's been going on behind the scenes of Supergirl, or what happened behind the scenes of Supergirl, and that's not really my place to comment on. If they did use AI or not. It's not my place to comment on. I don't necessarily like that parts to do with the one redeeming quality of that film used AI, especially with it being closely related to an actor that I like. Yeah, it's a sour taste in the mouth, certainly. But yeah, I'm not going to delve too much into that because this is a primarily Marvel video anyway. But you know, I thought it was going to be based on that Tom King Vision run. It looks like it is loosely, which all of these are, when they say they're based on a certain comic run, they're always loosely based on a comic run. Brand New Day has nothing to do with the comic that it shares a name with. But this does seem like it's doing a lot of things right. First of all, Ultron's back. People really seem to like James Spader as Ultron. I really liked James Spader as Ultron. A lot of people coming out of the woodwork saying that he was really underutilized. They've been wanting to see him come back in some kind of way, and that Ultron could have had the potential to be a really to be like an event movie threat, and I completely agree. This doesn't look like that's the way that they're going around. It does seem like they are still doing that kind of like MCU humor with Ultron's character in this. I really like the way that the Vision Quest looks. I think it looks like a really bonkers show, and watching it kind of reminded me of, are they doing, essentially, has this got the same tone as Loki? Is this giving me the same vibe as Loki? Yes. I think it is. And you know, Loki was a show that I kind of went into it thinking, I'm not going to enjoy this. It's Loki before he had its character arc. I'm not going to enjoy this. And now Loki is one of the most successful MCU Disney Plus shows. Outside of Daredevil, I'd say Loki is the number 2. And then WandaVision. And this is a sequel to WandaVision with the tone of Loki. So, you know, it's taking from two of the MCU Disney Plus bangers. So if it's kind of a mixtape of all of the best of those two, then yeah, it 100% has my interest peaked. The final, not the final thing, but we also got another trailer for Avengers Doomsday. Obviously, every bit of information about this movie we can absorb before we get to watch the film is, as long as we don't have the whole plot spoiled before the film comes out, just any kind of teasers that we can get. I don't think we will have the full film. I think there's so many things that can happen in this movie that are almost impossible to spoil before the movie comes out. But yeah, the trailer that they did show kind of it quells my worries about what they're doing with Doctor Doom. It kind of confirms that this is a character that's going to have history with Reed Richards. This is a character that's deeply going to be baked into the Fantastic Four. They will have history with Victor Von Doom. My worry comes into the fact of, do I care? Not necessarily about Doctor Doom. It's very difficult I feel like this movie is fighting an uphill battle because it was supposed to be something completely different. It was supposed to be the Kang Dynasty. Unfortunately, the actor who played Kang decided to be a naughty boy or got into controversy or whatever happened with him. It's none of my concern. When the whole controversy was happening, I was willing to believe that it was more of a misunderstanding. However, as more information is shed light, and the way that that actor has gone about trying to revive his career, it kind of leads me to believe that he's not a great person. However, now we have a movie with Doctor Doom as the main villain, and this movie has to make you care about Doctor Doom. It has to feel satisfying to the people who grew up with the Fox movies, and to be a satisfying reintroduction to the Fox X-Men. It has to make you feel for those characters again, and it has to give them cool moments whilst also giving a cool moment to every other character that's going to be in this, whilst also having the caveat of it is the Fox X-Men, but it's not the Fox X-Men, because characters that died in those movies are alive in this one. Plus, you've got the Channing Tatum gambit of it all, which, kudos to him for being able to play the character that he's been trying to play for 20 years. Good on you for that. But do I care? Do I care about seeing Gambit fight Shang-Chi? Do I care about seeing Yelena fight Mystique? Do I care about any of these characters that aren't the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, or Thor? Looking outside of that, not really. There's a lot of characters in this that I don't care for. There's a lot of, there are a lot of things that have been teased and that have been, I feel like the problem with the MCU is the after credit scene. The after credit scene is being kind of abused as kind of like a tease of what's coming next, where we've got so many plates spinning that there is no world that everything you're setting up gets plated up in a fulfilling way. I think we've seen that with Blade. I think we've seen that with both of the after credit scenes of Eternals. I feel so sorry for Brett Goldstein, who got cast as Hercules and will probably never appear in anything. And then you've got the Wonder Man of it all, a really successful Disney Plus show that was actually good, and was about and wasn't a kind of MCU superhero punch fest, CGI fest. And now you don't have, we might not actually see that character again. We're probably not going to see any of the Eternals again. That whole movie has probably been left to the eons of time because for some reason people didn't like it. I liked it, but, if, major audiences don't get on with the movie, then you're not going to see more stuff come out of it, even though I enjoyed it and enjoyed the characters that were in it. And then, obviously the Kang of it all. Kang's never gonna get sorted out. The Kang stuff is never gonna get resolved unless if Doomsday starts with Doctor Doom literally just killing Kang or killing all of the Kangs, which too many people have said that that's going to happen. There's been even AI frickin' animations of that being the start of this movie, and I don't think that it would be cool to see on the big screen, but I don't think that's the case, because I don't think Marvel wants even I don't think Marvel wants Jonathan Majors attached to any of this stuff. But yeah, that's the big, like, doomsday of it all, is, do I think the movie's going to be good? Sure. I mean, the Russo brothers haven't really missed with any of their MCU stuff. They have some misses outside of the MCU, but all of their movies that start with Avengers and end in words, or start with Captain America and end with words, all of those end up being great. So I don't think this is going to be, at the very least, we're going to see characters that, you know, at the very least, this is going to be another tick in the glow up of Cyclops that's been happening over the last few years, which I'm very happy to see, by the way. But yeah, that's it. And then talking about the glow up of Cyclops, we also had more. We have essentially the full cast of the X-Men, of what's going to be the MCU's first X-Men movie. I know there's been like some stuff about the Beast actor, that he didn't show up, or that he was being a bit of a diva backstage. I think if that's the case, drop him from the movie. If you're going to be a diva about appearing in X-Men, you know, it's probably the biggest opportunity of your acting career, and you're going to be like, I don't want to do this D23 stuff, or I want more time on the stage at D23. Fuck off, man. Just drop him, replace him with someone else at that point, because just you're going to be an X-Men. The only things you should do regarding Kevin Feige is shake his hand and say thank you at that point. But yeah, looking at this cast, I mean, we know about Sadie Sink. I think she's going to crush it as Jean Grey. I said my piece about her being basically a murderer in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I can't talk about the D23 reveals without spoiling that movie. I'm sorry. If you're watching this and you haven't seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, it's your own fault at this point. But yeah, the whole thing about Jean Grey being a murderer, and doing some morally questionable things in Brand New Day, thinking on it more, it makes what is going to be the eventual transition to Phoenix and then Dark Phoenix more believable, and it kind of sows the seeds of foreshadowing that being kind of I don't really necessarily want it to be the end point, and I don't know how they're going to do like the Hellfire Club, with Emma Frost being a member of the X-Men from Go. I don't necessarily know what they're doing with the plot of the X-Men film, but I mean, they have the Emma Frost actress coming out with the X-Men. But yeah, we know Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey. We know that Kit Connor is going to be Cyclops. I think he looks like a young Scott Summers. He looks like whenever people want to draw young Scott Summers, he looks like that. So yeah, he's a good shout. Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. I think that's a great shout. I think that's a great shout, and also Kit Connor. You lucky man. Indy, whatever her surname is, I can't for the life of me remember her surname, but the girl that's in Obsession is going to be playing Rogue, and this is the question mark for me, because I don't know if I get Rogue from that actress, but if I trust anything about the MCU, I trust their casting team. I trust that they cast the right actors for the right roles most of the time. Sometimes they cast a woman to play Taskmaster, which, you know, isn't my first choice, and it's not a lot of other people's first choice either. But I think for the most part they do a really good choice with who they cast in these roles. I will cite Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. Makes perfect sense. I hope he's Danny Ketch. But yeah, that's the only one that I have a question mark on. And Maya Boyd as Storm. From what I've researched, this is her first movie. And what I will say is, one hell of a first movie. If your first movie is X-Men in the MCU, I mean, you have a very good career ahead of you. Yeah, I think, and the Professor X actor is the guy who was doing weird teleporty stuff. The Enforcer, not the Enforcer. The guy, he was in Craven, and he was like doing weird teleporty stuff. The guy that they hired as an assassin to kill Craven in the Craven the Hunter movie. I want to see the guy in a movie that's good, because apparently that Wolfman movie he was in as well, apparently that was a bit questionable. But it makes sense to go with a 40-year-old to play Professor X, because he's 40 and he should be younger to match with the team being younger. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. So, and the last thing that was revealed, they were like, there's one more thing, and then the screen lights up and it's Adam Driver. And Adam Driver is playing Mr. Sinister. And I think that is perfect. It's not Tom Ellis. It's not Tom Ellis perfect, but it is pretty much bang on. And I hope we see Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister having Kylo Ren-esque meltdowns. And I hope we see that, because when Adam Driver is insane, I think that's when he's his most fun to watch. That's when I think he's the most fun to watch. So yeah, that's basically all of the D23 stuff that I'm excited for. There's a lot more than I thought I would be. Obviously, there was a thing for The Incredibles 3. I don't care. I'll be completely honest. Even going back and watching The Incredibles 1, it's a great movie. I don't know how enjoyable it is for kids. I don't know, because like looking back at that movie, it's really dark, and there's a lot of downtime in it. I know it's an hour and 40 minutes, but there's a lot of downtime in that movie. There's a lot of scenes where like it's just family drama, and there's a lot of scenes where like it's just Mr. Incredible's been captured for most of the movie. Most of the movie is spent with Mr. Incredible being captured. So yeah, it kind of is paced like a Marvel movie, or like an older Marvel movie at that point. And yeah, I would say it's a great film, but I don't know how great of a kids movie it is. And also it opens with someone with a suicide attempt, which, you know, what they could get away with in kids movies then. I think that's just showing that Disney used to have more respect for younger audiences than they do now, and maybe younger audiences could take a bit more than they had now, especially when we're seeing kids going to watch the new Spider-Man and not being able to put their phone away. That, you know, but yeah, also from what I know, the second Incredibles movie, which I haven't seen, isn't great. So I'm doing a third. I predict it's probably going to take cues from the MCU in they're going to do it's going to be a big like alien invasion movie with the Incredibles, and it's going to end with like a big like army of superheroes versus an army of invading aliens, and the villain's probably going to be a riff on Thanos, and yeah, it's probably going to end in a The Incredibles is probably going to do its own Infinity War thing, where it's going to end on like half of the cast being dusted away. If I were to predict the movie, that's probably what I would predict. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you're most looking forward to from D23. Are you excited for this X-Men cast? What worlds do you think are going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.